Some provisions in the current Senate reconciliation bill have been axed. I'm going to go through what has been axed and why. So the Senate budget reconciliation bill went through what's called a bird bath. Now this happens in the Senate. It does not happen in the House. Why does it happen? If the language within a provision is more about policy and not about revenue, well then that provision can be submitted to the parliamentarian. What is and who is the parliamentarian? The parliamentarian currently is Elizabeth McDonough. She has been the parliamentarian since 2012. She was appointed by the Senate Majority Leader. She has served under Republicans and Democrats alike. She is basically the judge and jury. She decides what will stay in the budget reconciliation bill, the Senate's version, and what will be axed, what will be thrown out. And she has to do this based on Senate rules. So it's a bipartisan approach. She has to decide what is allowed and what is not as far as what is submitted to her from other senators based on Senate rules and procedures. So I'm going to go through with you exactly what the parliamentarian has axed from the Senate reconciliation bill. The Senate created a provision that would allow Trump to shut down and reorganize federal agencies with zero oversight. Yes, that's in the Senate budget bill. That's axed. The Senate created a provision in their version of the budget bill allowing Trump to ignore federal courts. That has been axed. The Senate has a provision in their bill to defund the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau for consumers. That's been axed. The Senate has a provision to kill clean rules for cars and trucks. That's been axed. The Senate wanted to prohibit Medicaid coverage for non-citizens. Axed. The Senate wanted to bar funds for gender-affirming care for those on Medicaid. Axed. The Senate wanted to sell $1.2 million, 1.2 acres of public lands to pay for their wealthy tax cuts. Axed. The Senate wanted to cut the take-home pay for new federal workers, decrease their pay, unless they gave up their job protections. Axed. The Senate created a provision in their budget reconciliation bill to defund, take federal funding away from states and cities that did not follow the Trump administration's goals with immigration. The states and cities who would not cooperate. They want to take the federal money. You know how Trump has been threatening and doing that with all the states. That's axed. The Senate wants to force the United States Postal Service to sell all their electric cars and charging stations. Axed. The Senate put a provision in the bill to allow oil and gas companies to fast-track all of their oil and gas projects to get approved if they pay $10 million fee. Axed. The Senate's put a provision to charge federal workers $350 just to file a workplace complaint. Axed. So those are some of the changes that have already been made to this current Senate reconciliation bill that Elizabeth McDonough have thrown out. Now, this has not had the final vote yet. They have been debating. As you know, I will keep you updated, of course, on all of these things. And as I'm sure you know by now, especially if you watch me, the Senate has a lot more deeper cuts than the House. So we'll see what happens with the final vote. There, after the bill was read, the 940 pages, there are a lot of senators, Republicans also, who didn't know a lot of various particulars in this bill. So, we'll see who changes their mind, who doesn't. I will keep you updated, of course. Please like, follow, and share so that I can continue to provide you with content. And I appreciate you being here.